Hi and thanks for watching my video. I really do appreciate it. I mean, after all, you're the reason I make these videos. Anyway, if you do enjoy it, please take the time to scroll down a bit and hit that like button. And maybe, if you want to do me a real big favour, you could even subscribe. Okay, so with that being said, let's do this. Robin McLaurin Williams was a famous actor, producer, screenwriter and comedian. Robin was 5'7" tall and weighed around 177 pounds. With blue eyes and, well, originally brown but later greying hair. According to Celebrity Net Worth, his value was a cool $50 million. Doesn't sound like all that much by today's standards, but it's certainly nothing to be sniffed at. Robin was born on July 21st, 1951, in Chicago, Illinois. Sadly, he committed suicide in 2014 due to depression brought on by his struggle with a particular type of dementia called DLB. Williams' father, Robert Fitzgerald Williams, was a senior executive in the motor industry, and his mother, Laurie McLaurin, was a former model. Robin had two older brothers. Actor Robin Todd Williams was born in 1938 but passed away in 2007. And teacher McLaurin Smith Williams was born in 1947. Now Williams was married no less than 3 times. His first wife was dancer Valerie Velarde, and they tied the knot in 1978, but divorced again 10 years later in 1988. Next was film producer Marcia Garces, from 1989 until their divorce in 2010. Finally, in 2011, Robin married graphic designer Susan Schneider. Robin had 2 sons and a daughter from his relationships, and they have all followed in his footsteps to become actors. Zachary Pym Williams was born in 1983, Zelda Williams in 1989, and his youngest child, Cody Allen Williams, came along in 1991. The beautiful Williams residence of Villa Sorriso in Napa Valley, California, was eventually sold for just over $18 million following his death. Now, Robin was not a car collector and was most notable for driving an old 1966 Land Rover. He once said, "I can't deal with new cars. I like a car that's like me. You never know what's going to happen next." Known for his improvisational skills and the wide variety of characters he created on the spur of the moment, Williams is often regarded as one of the best comedians of all time. He began performing stand-up comedy in San Francisco and Los Angeles during the mid-1970s, and rose to fame playing the alien Mork in the ABC sitcom Mork and Mindy, that ran from 1978 to 1982. Williams was an avid gamer and enjoyed playing Call of Duty and The Legend of Zelda. His daughter was named after the character on the suggestion of his son Zachary. Robin won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in Good Will Hunting. He was also nominated for Good Morning Vietnam. And now we come to those top 10 movies. The list is packed with movies that demonstrate his amazing comic genius, but there are 1 or 2 that show a different side to Robin. In 10th place is the gender-swapping comedy The Birdcage. It made almost $125 million in the United States alone, and went on to gross more than $185 million worldwide. Williams was joined by stars including Nathan Lane, Gene Hackman, Diane Reist, and Callista Flockhart, to name but a few. Filmed in Miami Beach, Florida, with a budget of around $30 million, the movie was directed by Mike Nichols, produced by United Artists, and released in the USA on March 10th, 1996.
Too swishy?
Let me give you an image. It's a cliche, but it's an image. John Wayne.
Oh, God. Couldn't we start with someone easier?
Come on, you're a big fan. He's got a very distinctive walk. Very easy to imitate, and if anyone was a man. All right, now try it.
Armand Goldman owns a popular drag nightclub in South Miami Beach. His longtime lover Albert stars there as Starina. Their son Val, actually Armand's by his one heterosexual fling 20 years before, comes home to announce his engagement to Barbara Keeley, daughter of Kevin Keeley, US Senator and co-founder of the Committee for Moral Order. The Senator and his family descend upon South Beach to meet Val, his father and mother. What ensues is comic chaos. At number 9 comes the medical comedy Patch Adams. The movie grossed over $135 million in the United States and went on to reach more than $200 million worldwide. Along with Williams, the movie starred the likes of Daniel London, Monica Potter, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Bob Gunton. Filmed in Asheville, North Carolina on a budget of around $90 million, the movie was directed by Tom Shadyac, produced by Universal Pictures and released in the USA on December 27, 1998.
I am cold. Just a bit of a cold. Is my nose red? Oh, it is. It's red.
What's that?
Patch Adams is determined to become a medical doctor because he enjoys helping people. Unfortunately, the medical and scientific community does not appreciate his methods of healing the sick, while the actual patients, medical professors and hospital nurses all appreciate the work he can do, because they are unable to do it themselves. Next, we see a move away from the slapstick comedy of the previous movies, with Good Will Hunting. Co-starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Stellan Skarsgård and Casey Affleck, the movie grossed almost $140 million at the box office in the USA, and went on to surpass $225 million worldwide. With a filming budget of just $10 million, the movie was based in Ontario, Canada. Good Will Hunting was directed by Gus Van Sant, produced by Miramax, and released on December 7th, 1997.
He's about to meet his match.
How many shrinks you go to before me?
5. This boy's genius is unparalleled. I need someone who can get through to him.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm pumped. Let's let the healing begin. I went on a date last week. Going out again? I don't know. This girl's like, beautiful. She's smart. She's fun.
It's a touching tale of a wayward young man who struggles to find his identity. Living in a world where he can solve any problem, except the one brewing deep within himself, until one day he meets his soulmate, who opens his mind and his heart. At number 7, we find another movie that explores the more thoughtful side of Mr. Williams, Dead Poets Society. For this movie, Williams teams up with Robert Sean Leonard, Ethan Hawke, Josh Charles and Dylan Cussman, amongst others. Dead Poets Society was filmed in Middleton, Delaware, with a budget of just $16 million. Not that great by today's standards. The movie was directed by Peter Weir, produced by Touchstone Pictures, and released in the USA on June 4th, 1989. It grossed more than $95 million domestically, and topped $235 million worldwide.
Welton Academy for Boys, a breeding ground for the future leaders of America. An institution dedicated to achievement, virtue, and conformity. A school whose rigid standards are upheld by every single teacher, except one.
Come on, Mr. Overstreet, you twerp. Mr. Anderson, are you a man or an amoeba? Language was developed for one endeavor, and that is...
Painfully shy Todd Anderson has been sent to the school where his popular older brother was valedictorian. His roommate, Neil Perry, although exceedingly bright and popular, is very much under the thumb of his overbearing father. The two, along with their other friends, meet Professor Keating, their new English teacher, who tells them of the Dead Poets Society and encourages them to go against the status quo. Each does so in his own way, and is changed for life. For the next in the list, we delve into board game shenanigans with Jumanji. For this movie, Williams was joined by such stars as Kirsten Dunst, Bonnie Hunt, Jonathan Hyde and Bradley Pierce. In the USA, the box office gross for Jumanji was more than $100 million, and worldwide it totalled just over $260 million. Directed by Joe Johnston, the movie was filmed in Keene, New Hampshire, with a budget of around $65 million. It was produced by TriStar Pictures and released in the USA on December 17, 1995.
What year is it?
It was brand new.
No. What year is it?
1995, remember?
95.
You got some ID? Oh, let me guess, you probably left it in the other Tarzan outfit, right?
26 years.
Are you from around here?
I was. But I've been in Jumanji.
In 1969, Jumanji, one of the most unique and dangerous board games ever, falls into the hands of the curious teen Alan Parrish. Mysterious and magical, the game strands the unsuspecting boy in the lush savage forests of a mythical realm. Nearly 3 decades later, the game releases him before the awed eyes of the young orphaned siblings, Judy and Peter Shepherd. Now, the wild and incessant beat of the jungle's tribal drums is calling for the now adult Alan and the other hesitant players, as the one who rolls the dice must never leave undone what the roll has started. Okay, it's time to find your happy thoughts. The next movie in the list is Hook, Steven Spielberg's jaunty take on the J.M. Barrie classic Peter Pan. Williams is joined by Hollywood heavyweights Dustin Hoffman, Julia Roberts, Bob Hoskins and Maggie Smith. The movie was filmed in Los Angeles with a budget of around $70 million. As I mentioned before, Hook was directed by Steven Spielberg, produced by Amblin Entertainment, and released in the USA on December 15, 1991. The movie grossed almost $120 million domestically, and a little over $300 million worldwide. Peter Pan has grown up to be a cutthroat merger and acquisitions lawyer, and is married to Wendy's granddaughter Moira. Captain James Hook kidnaps his children, Jack and Maggie, forcing Peter to return to Neverland and a reunion with Tinkerbell. With the help of her and the Lost Boys, he must remember how to be Peter Pan again, in order to save his children by battling with Captain Hook once more. At number 4, we have the first appearance of a franchise Robin was involved in. Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. Co-starring Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Dick Van Dyke, Steve Coogan and others, Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb was filmed in London, England, with a more sizable budget of $130 million. The movie was directed by Sean Levy, produced by 20th Century Fox, and released on December 21st, 2014. The domestic box office revenue was a little short of $115 million domestically, but reached almost $365 million worldwide.
The fool seems agitated.
That's often his way. But I assure you, he's no fool.
Is it true what he says? The tablet that you carry is magic?
It is indeed. Everything around you has come to life tonight for the very first time, all because of this tablet.
At the Museum of Natural History, there's a new exhibit being unveiled. But when the exhibits go awry, Larry finds himself in trouble. He learns the tablet is corroding, so he does some research and learns that Cecil, the former museum guard, was at the site when the tablet was discovered. He tells Larry they were warned if they remove it, it could mean the end, and Larry realises that means the end of the magic. He talks to Akhmemra, who says that he doesn't know anything, only his father the Pharaoh knows the tablet's secrets. He learns that the Pharaoh was sent to the London Museum, so he convinces Dr. McPhee, the museum curator, to send him to London too. The number 3 position is held by the second movie in the franchise, Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian. The usual suspects of Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson return and are joined by Amy Adams and Bill Hader. The movie was again directed by Shawn Levy, this time in Montreal, Canada, with the biggest budget in the list at around $150 million. It was produced by 20th Century Fox and released in the USA on May 24, 2009, grossing almost $180 million domestically and topping $410 million worldwide.
What's the rumpus, Ace?
Look, lady, could you get out of the way?
Lady? Who are you calling lady? The name is Amelia. Amelia Earhart. Perhaps you've heard of me?
Ben Stiller returns as night watchman Larry Daly, now a successful businessman, who gets back to the museum just in time to find out that he needs to get his friends out of trouble. This new instalment takes us to the Smithsonian and introduces us to new characters such as Amelia Earhart, General Custer, and many more. At number 2, it's the hilarious nanny comedy, Mrs. Doubtfire. Joining Robin for this movie, we see Sally Field, Pierce Brosnan, Harvey Fierstein, Polly Holliday, and others. Directed in San Francisco by Chris Columbus, with a budget of around $25 million, the movie was once again produced by 20th Century Fox and released on November 28, 1993. In the USA, the movie managed to gross almost $220 million, with the worldwide figure surpassing $440 million.
Could you make me a woman?
Honey, I'm so happy.
Oh, come here. I knew you'd understand.
Is this gonna hurt? Don't whine, just relax.
Are you sure?
Just remember, pain is beauty. Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath. Instant eye lift.
Eccentric actor Daniel Hillard is an amusing and caring father, but after a disastrous birthday party for his son Chris, his wife Miranda draws the line and files a divorce. He can see their 3 children only once a week, which doesn't sit well with him. He also holds a job at a TV studio as a shipping clerk under the recommendation of his liaison. But when Miranda puts out an ad for a nanny, he takes it upon himself to make a disguise as a British lady named Mrs. Doubtfire. And he must also deal with Miranda's new boyfriend, Stu Doonmeyer. And finally, the number 1 slot is held by the first movie in the franchise, Night at the Museum. This time filmed in Manhattan, New York with a budget of $110 million, the movie was once again directed by Shawn Levy, with co-stars Ben Stiller, Carla Gugino, Ricky Gervais and Dick Van Dyke. As with the other movies in the series, Night at the Museum was produced by 20th Century Fox and was released on December 24, 2006. Robin's top grossing movie made more than $250 million in the USA alone, and close to $575 million worldwide. Not a bad little earner. In New York, unemployed and divorced Larry Daly is a complete loser. His son Nick is very disappointed with his father, who is going to be evicted. Larry accepts the job of night watchman in the Museum of Natural History, and takes the place of 3 old security guards that have just retired in order to raise some money and pay his bills. On his first shift, Larry soon realises that everything at the museum is not as it seems, as the statues begin to come to life after the sun sets. The museum transforms into complete chaos with the inexperienced Larry in charge, as he learns that an old Egyptian stone that came to the museum in 1950 brings these statues to life until dawn. Now remember, These are Robin's top grossing movies. He may well have made others that were better. Maybe you can think of some that you expected to see on the list. Let me know in the comments if there are any Robin Williams movies you wish had been in his top 10.